welcome back. Thanks for joining us once again here at Next Gen Racing Productions. Formula I action on tap for this afternoon. Gonna be a great race here at the new updated 2019 version of Silverstone. Looks like we have a few drivers already out on track trying to put down some qualifying times. Here they have a 30-minute qualifying session, an open session just like the Formula 1 drivers do in real life. On screen here you do see that 15 of Danny O'Keefe. Didn't see Danny on the track at the Circuit of Americas last week, where Thomas Ziegler was able to take the win away from Cody Sandwith. Cody was the fastest out on track, walking away with the fastest lap award for the race. However, looks like he may have his hands full here at this big, beautiful racing circuit for the British Grand Prix. These Formula 3 drivers will put down 45 minutes worth of track time for the official race. So tire management is a big key. And look for these drivers to push hard on the first 2 to 3 laps and then kind of begin that tire management and watching for the deg to get too out of hand. You don't want to blister those tires too early in a run. So I believe it will be probably a good 30 laps or so before these drivers decide to pit. Gonna jump around just a little bit to another member of the Radar Racing team, Patrick Charlton. He had a good finish last week as well. Came away with the final podium position at the Circuit of Americas. So looking to keep that head of steam rolling for him and his teammate, who have quite a substantial lead in the constructor points heading into this race. We have about close to a 40-point lead over the second place team of On Target of Mark Bruning and Richard Swavely. Those two drivers just nipping at the heels. This Radar Racing team. No driver has yet crossed the line for a full timed lap that would be counted. Have to remember these style of races, if you happen to get a 1x for exceeding track limits a little bit, your timed lap will not count. Looks like the 5 of Jason Siemens from Siemens Privateer Racing has put it on top of the board for the moment. Lindell McMurphy in the 63 for Frito Sport has placed his machine up into the second position. We'll wait here with Patrick to see where he can come around and cross the line as he's on his flying lap. Oh, trouble for Patrick. He spins it, gets it pointed back in the right direction. Have to see if he decides to carry on or just go back down to pit lane this time by. Looks like another driver out there beginning their first time lap, the one machine of Carlos Cotau. Carlos walked away just outside of the points last week. Really, I believe he finished, I think it was ninth, I do believe. I believe he still scored a few points from last week's race. Looking to improve on that finish this week here at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. 18 turns around this big track, and there are a few sections where these drivers will be able to just absolutely flat-foot it through the course, especially after you get those tires up to temperature. Carlos with a little bit of blinkiness right there. Just keep on motoring on though. Yes, that was 16, 17, 18. Those drivers now coming back around. Carlos up into the 6th position now. Jason Siemens in the 5 machine still holding on to the provisional pole here in this 30-minute open qualifying session. Looking through the timing and scoring, and it looks like we've only got 2 drivers that have not yet left the paddock and onto the track. Cody Sandwith and Will Zoller still making some tweaks in the garage to their machines. Still have plenty of time to get out on track and try to take the provisional pole position away from Jason Siemens. Still riding with the one of Carlos Cotau as he's on his second lap, trying to improve on that 151.751 that he ran last time by. Provisional pole as it sits right now is a 150.92, so that is one heck of a lap. About 8 seconds faster than my fastest lap here that I was attempting to try to understand the cars this week along with these guys, and man, they are smooth and they are fast. Not improving his time that last lap. We'll see who else is still out on track. Looks like Thomas Ziegler came into the mix somewhere along the way. As you see him sitting on pit road now. Somewhere along the way, Thomas came and snatched that pole position away with a 157.40. So that is very interesting. We couldn't catch that there. You see Cody Sanders. We're actually going to try to take a little ride if we can here. Let me make sure I get this one correct. I believe we're going to have fun here. Getting an up-to-speed and flying lap in with the 7 of Cody Sandwith. And I don't know if these... I was going to say the number 1, but I don't even know if these guys consider themselves on teams with number 1 and number 2 drivers, because they all seem to be working together for the greater good of great racing. But Cody was your second place finisher last week at Circuit of Americas. He's going to look to improve that finishing position, take the top spot away from Thomas Ziegler, who picking up right where he left off. Fastest so far, 10 minutes into this 30-minute open qualifying session. bit off track there for Cody. Not sure if this lap is going to end up being counted as he is working his way back across the line. And there you heard it, almost completely flat out through that corner. And working that throttle just a little bit through this section of the track. Oh, crossed up right there. Whew. Cody goes along for a ride here. There you see it, right there. Coming off of the corner. Just gets a little crossed up and not able to catch up with it. So Cody Sandwith still not gonna have a timed lap put in just yet. Pretty sure he'll come around, come back down pit lane and get some fresh tires on it, as looks like the 13 of Florian. Florian, I do apologize, brother. I'm not gonna I don't want to ruin your last name. So we're just going to leave it at Florian for this week, my man. Newer face out there on track. Sliding the car through the corner off track. That's going to disallow this timed lap for Florian. Will Zoller and the 3 still in the paddock. Only car to not have came out on track. Jason Siemens still in the 2nd position, followed by Danny Hoekstra. 4th is Patrick Charlton. 5th goes to Carlos Cotau. 6th, Carl Flemister. 7th, Danny O'Keefe. 8th, Gregorio Corridy. 9th, Landell McMurphy. 10th, Mark Bruning. Fifteen cars have made the journey across the pond from where we were well, 2 weekends ago, to now being over here in the United Kingdom for the British Grand Prix. Working just a little bit over 15 minutes left in this open qualifying session. And we're going to have a little bit of a special treat for you. Not something you're used to probably seeing or hearing from us over here at Next Gen Racing Productions, but figured we'd do something a little different to honor the great host nations of these tracks that we continue to visit here with the Formula I drivers. And looking forward to yet another great race here this Saturday afternoon. Thomas Seeger still sitting in that provisional pole position. Cody Sandwith has now dethroned Jason Siemens from that 2nd position. His teammate Patrick Charlton has picked up the 3rd position. That's going to drop Jason Siemens all the way back to the 4th position, as we're down to 14.5 seconds left in open qualifying here. Still riding around with the 13 of Florian. I hate not trying to say his last name, but Florian Needle, I think. We'll hopefully I got that right. If not, we'll work it out. We'll work it out, I promise. Anyways, Florian slotting in the 13th position so far. He has ran a few laps out there, just exceeding some of the track limits and disallowing some of his times. So he's going to be looking to improve that over the rest of this qualifying period. And it's getting down to the nitty-gritty to where if you're going to make a run for this pole position, you're going to have to get your changes made and probably go with that right now, just in case something happens. You can get back to pit road, get back on track for that one final time, that one final push to try to take the pole position away from Thomas Ziegler in the 10, who's just kind of hanging out down there on pit road, just behind the wall there. Can't quite see him with this shot. We'll flip on around and let you take a look at your pole sitters so far right now, with 12 and a half minutes left remaining here in qualifying for the British Grand Prix. Haven't checked in on it, so take a look at the weather over here. Not quite sure what the weather's supposed to be like over here, so my insight isn't going to be too good. Track temperature looks to be a little bit on the cooler side. See, that's what happens when you don't pay attention to what you're doing. Riding along with the 7 of Cody Sandwith, he finds himself sitting in the 3rd position as we inch closer to the 10-minute qualifying mark. Sure who that was off track right there. May have been, cannot see. May have been the 15 of Danny O'Keefe, as he is very, whoa, Cody with a big moment. Let's see what happened there with Cody. It looks like he had just lost the rear for a second and just couldn't catch back up to it. Thomas Ziegler beginning to try to improve his time. He is heading back out on track. Danny Hoekstra up to 2nd position. A 150.557 for Danny in the 91. So he's trying to go up there and fight and scrap for that pole position. That's going to knock Cody Sandwith to 3rd, Patrick Charlton to 4th, Patrick Woodstrup in 5th, Jason Siemens, your original provisional pole sitter here for a good majority of qualifying, has fell all the way back to the 6th position. If you remember, Jason did qualify in the 1st position last week at Circuit of Americas. Fortunately, he had some, I don't know if you call it engineering issues or what, setup just wasn't working for him. Then he forgot to add the gas necessary, and just a culmination of bad things happening for Jason last week. Started way behind the field, behind on strategy, but was still able to drive up and come away with a decent finish. I believe he finished, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Jason finished 8th last week. just in front of Carlos Cotau. So good run through the field for him back up. Last weekend, will he have anything for it this weekend? Looks like he's bringing the car down to pit road. Not sure if he's going to try one last time to go out and take the pole position away. 14 out of 15 drivers have put down timed laps. The only driver yet to hit the track in this 30-minute qualifying session has been the 3 of Will Zoller. Will still down there, not ready to go just yet. Here you see the 61 of Mark Bruning coming through. I believe this is towards the final few turns. I get mixed up until I can see some of them. Yes, it was. That was turn... Or no, that is the old front stretch, I believe. Yes, that is the... That is not the paddock anymore. See, tracks, they can deceive you. Just because you see a pit lane doesn't mean that's where these Formula 3 drivers will be pitting. Cody Sandwith has been able to do it. He has went out and put that 7 machine on top of the pole position. Sitting there right now with a 150.130. Only a tenth of a second separates himself with the 10 of Tom Ziegler, as we are still watching the 61 of Mark Bruning come around through the track. This is through the final section. Big trouble. He's going to lose the rear there and spin it around. We'll see if we can't jump on board up here with Cody Sandwith. Still not satisfied with the time out there. Still trying to lay down yet another scorching lap. Cody electing to go off the track. Gonna jump back on with the 10 of Thomas Ziegler as he tries to snatch the pole position away here in the final few minutes. Just under 5 minutes left here in the open 30-minute qualifying session here for the Formula I drivers at Silverstone. We are getting closer and closer from stepping away for our pre-race activities. There you can see Thomas trying to put some more heat into the tires. He's going to put on a show here for this flying lap right here. I can pretty much guarantee it. Coming through the final few turns here, we're going to jump on board with him. Let's ride around with him on his flying lap from the cockpit. Down into turn 1. And turn 4 can be tricky. That's a turn that gave me a lot of trouble right there. Cody Sandwith still on the provisional pole now, just 2.5 minutes remain. Man, we are on board with the 10 of Thomas Ziegler. He's trying to go. Oh, whoa. He gets a little crossed up, saves the car, keeps it going straight. That's going to pretty much make this lap a throwaway lap for him. Does anybody else have anything for the 7 of Cody Sandwith? Or will he walk away with the pole position for today's British Grand Prix? And there you see Thomas Ziegler bringing it back down pit lane. Will Zoller still not out of the paddock just yet. Only driver out of these 15 drivers that has not put in a timed lap. Well, we'll keep an eye on these final few laps. Oh my goodness. From these final few laps. See if anybody's able to take the pole position away. Doesn't look like anybody's gonna have an opportunity. I do not believe so. What we're gonna take this opportunity to do here at Next Gen Racing Productions is we're gonna cut away and bring you a little special treat. You'll be right back. You won't mean that. We will be right back, not you. Well, hopefully you're right back with us as well here on Next Gen Racing Productions. Well, what did you think about that? Hopefully you liked it. That's just our way here at Next Gen Racing Productions to honor the great host nations around the world for bringing us some great open wheel action week after week. A few drivers trying to squeeze out a little bit more time. Not sure any of them are going to be able to do anything, as there's less than 1 minute left here in qualifying. Nobody is currently out on track. Looks like the 17 maybe just running through the gears a little bit just to double check the gearbox. Nobody has a shot at taking the pole position away from the 7 of Cody Sandwith. So Cody picking up where he left off last week, walking away with a second place finish and the fastest lap. Well, he'll be able to get a sweep here. Pole position, fastest lap, race winner. Not sure, but we're going to find out any minute. There you see checkered flag is out for qualifying. These drivers will have to make the final changes. Sorry, my mind went blank there for a second. Have to make their final changes before gridding up for the race. And man, oh man. This should be great. Drivers are somewhere. There they are. Couldn't find any of them at the moment. That was a little awkward. All right, 45 laps here at Silverstone for the Formula I British Grand Prix. Row number 1, the 7 of Cody Sandwith and the 10 of Thomas Ziegler. Row number 2, Jason Siemens and Danny Patrick Hoekstra. Row number 3, the 27 of Patrick Charleston. And we're green flag racing. We got to our grid show a little late here tonight, folks. I do apologize about that. But we are green. Cody Sandwith is off to the races. Thomas Ziegler under pressure now from Sandwith's teammate. Whole field trying to make it through these first few corners. Once again, do apologize for the race grid, as I simply forgot. Oh, gosh! Oh my goodness! We've got big trouble for a lot of drivers. Let's take another look at this. That was McMurphy, O'Keefe, Mark Bruning, all of those drivers involved in that trouble there. Back up front with your race leader, who does have Thomas Ziegler just behind him. Battle for the lead has not been settled just yet. Battle for third and fourth just behind them between Patrick Charlton and Danny Hoekstra. Jason Siemens finds himself about 4 seconds back from the leader, running in 5th position. No real threat behind him. Patrick Woodstrup does have a mirror full of the 13 of Kenny. I don't know why I want to keep calling him Kenny. Probably because of Kenny Florian, the MMA fighter, and Florian Needle in the 13 has about a 4-second gap over the 3 of Will Zoller. Almost a 4-car battle now for the lead position. These 4 cars all within about 2 seconds of each other. Gap beginning to open up for the 7 of Cody Sandwith as his teammate Patrick Charlton trying to get up there and take a position away from Thomas Ziegler. All 3 of your front runners are your 3 podium finishers for last week's race event at Circuit of Americas. Trying to look through the field, make sure we're keeping an eye on everything going on. Looks like we've had a few drivers have to pull the heavy wrenches out. The 61 of Mark Bruning, he finds himself in the last position right now, being scored 1 lap down along with Carl Flemister in the 12. Both of those drivers involved in that early race incident. They are in the paddock trying to work on their machines as we speak. Battle still raging on for the top 3 positions as they have begun to gap Danny Hoekstra, who's running in the 4th position. Already a 6-second lead back to the 5th position for your race leader, Cody Sandwith. As we are still keeping an eye on his teammate, Patrick Charlton, as he is trying to take the 2nd position away from Thomas Ziegler. Hoekstra still lurking in the background. If one of these 3 drivers should make a mistake, he may be able to still be close enough to capitalize. And it looks like Carl and Mark have both been able to get back out on track now. Extended stay for them. They're going to have to try to run this thing to the end to even have a remote chance at picking up any positions unless something were to happen to one of our other drivers out on track. Keeping up with this 2 and 3 car battle, but we're going to shift back here. This is for the 6th and 7th position between Patrick Woodstrup and Kenny Needle. They are about 7/10 or so away from each other. Flat out through these corners here. And you see Needle with a little bit of flashing issues there coming through 16, 17. A little bit longer carousel to 18 and back down the front stretch for yet another lap here. The British Grand Prix in the front 3 have tightened up. We're going to jump back up here with this battle as the lead may change hands here shortly. Great drive by Thomas Ziegler to, front end gets light when he gets up there. That was almost a big moment for Thomas. Front end just did not want to cooperate with him at that point in time, being that close to the gearbox of Cody Sandwith. He's going to regroup, gather it back up, and try to go back after it. As now you see Jason Siemens coming back into the picture. Was off in the distance back there, but he has made up a good amount of ground on the 91 of Danny Hoekstra. So, I mean, still battling it out here. We are about 4 laps into this thing. This race is on a 45. Oh, deep into the corner. Not able to make the pass. That was a bold move. Will he try it here? Looks to the outside. Will he cross it over? No, he won't. No switch back this time for Thomas Ziegler as they work their way off of turn 18 back to the line here again. Race lead still not determined just yet. I mean, Sandwith has got it for now. Into the braking zone hard. And Ziegler's going to be left on the outside. Can he make a switchback here? Oh, and Sandwith, that was some absolute great racing right there. They are still side by side. Ziegler looking to the inside now. He's going to have a little bit harder entry into this final corner. Not final corner, but to this section. He's able to make the pass there on Sandwith. Now Ziegler going to try to walk off into the sunset. Sandwith right there with him still, not letting him get away. Has the slipstream here. First lead change of the race. Round about 5 laps into this 45-minute time session here at Silverstone. And Thomas Ziegler has taken the lead away from Cody Sandwith, who is now falling back about a second behind Ziegler into the clutches of his Radar Racing teammate of Patrick Charlton. And there you see Jason Siemens in that line. I don't know if that's lime green or lime yellow. But Jason, there you see him right there. He is catching these guys in front of him. There you see, that's 4th, 3rd, and 2nd just in front of him. He still can see the leader at times, so that is a good feeling for Jason to be experiencing right now. Marcus Bruning still being scored in the 15th position. Carl Flemingster also being scored in 14th, 1 lap down. Thomas Ziegler, though, since taking this race lead, has stepped away from the field and opened up his gap to a 1.5, almost 2-second lead now over the second place runner Patrick Charlton. Using every inch of the track and the curbing, Thomas Ziegler. My goodness. And look, just behind your race leader, we are starting to see a new battle develop. We'll jump back here with it. That is between Cody Sandwith, who has dropped from all the way from the lead to 3rd position. His teammate, Patrick Charlton, making the pass earlier this lap. And Hoekstra is right there now on that gearbox of the 7. Fastest 2 cars that last time around the finishing line. Thomas Ziegler and Jason Siemens, and that the distance in their lap times was about a half a second, as we've got another battle for a position Hoekstra looking to make the pass on Sandwith. Sandwith defending nicely. Gets a good run on the exit here. And interesting enough to see that on that last lap, that is when Thomas Ziegler was able to run the fastest lap of the race. So he did a wonderful job at maintaining the tire deg throughout the first handful of laps to be able to finally go hammer down and begin to step away from the field, as he's got almost a 3-second lead now over the second place runner of Patrick Charlton. Now, right there, you see him. Jason Siemens, I've talked about him. He has made up a lot of ground. Finds himself now within 1 second of the fourth place runner, Danny Hoekstra. Hoekstra, I'm sorry. Gap between second and third place now starting to open up just as much as the gap between first and second. Both have about a 2.5 second gap between each of those runners. Danny Hoekstra right in front of Jason Siemens. They're just in front of them. The 7 of Cody Sandwith still seems to maybe have went a little too hard in these opening laps and may have hurt those tires a little bit, as the guys behind him are running faster laps. Checking through the field, looks like we have another battle beginning to develop. That is for the 9th and 10th position. That is Danny O'Keefe in the 15 and Carlos Cotau in the 1, rounding out the top 10. They are about a second away from each other. Danny Hoekstra, Jason Siemens still fighting it out. They have about a half a second between them, so both of these battles on track right about the same distance. We're keeping our eye on both of them. Running over the curb just a little bit there was O'Keefe. Cotau may be able to capitalize on that. Siemens not gaining any ground on Hoekstra for the 4th position. Battle on screen is for the 9th position between the 15 of Danny O'Keefe and the 1 of Carlos Cotau. Also up through the field, 4th and 5th position. Nice battle going on there, as well as that distance begins to close between those two drivers. We'll rejoin this battle up here up front between Hoekstra and Siemens. Siemens with a great exit there. There you see Cody Sandwith, your pole sitter for tonight's gridded. Pole sitter here tonight for your British Grand Prix. Brought to you by the Formula I drivers on iRacing.com. These Dallara F3 cars are an absolute ton of fun. I have enjoyed every minute of getting in these cars. These drivers do a wonderful job out there sharing information and helping each other along the way. Side-by-side battle between Siemens and Hoekstra. Oh, almost contact. Looked like there was almost contact through that corner. We'll back up one time, see if we can't see it. See if these two touch. And if they don't touch, oh, that was so close. They did not touch. I don't know how they didn't, but they did, and we'll rejoin our live race here. Pass being made by the 5 of Siemens as he begins to start to try to build a gap, and he goes around. The end comes around on Siemens through the corner. He's off track now, back on track. Looks like he's going to give up a position now to Florian Needle in the 13. Siemens falling back to 6th. Battle that we were watching earlier still raging on, a little bit closer now. Carlos Cotal in the 1 and is in the 10th position, but he wants 9th. O'Keefe doesn't want to give it to him. Move to the outside. Can he make it stick out there? Oh my, power move around the outside for Cotal. He's going to give up the inside position going into these final turns. Oh, O'Keefe over the curbs. Running a little bit wide there. Slipstream is going to go to Cotal. Both drivers moving around quite a bit going into turn number 1 and 2. Cotal had to back out just a little bit. Position has been retained by the 15 of O'Keefe. This now is your closest battle on track, so we're going to stick with it for just a little bit longer before we jump somewhere else. And Lord, I'm just praying I hit the right one here. Because just something tells me that this isn't going to be the right one. So we're just going to refrain from that at this point in time. There you see your intervals between the drivers on track as far as your timing and scoring is concerned. This still remains your closest battle on track. This is for the 9th and 10th position. O'Keefe in 9th, Cotal in 10th. Another move to the outside. Not going to work that time around. This is the same area of the track that we seen Cotal be a little bit better than O'Keefe. The last time there, you see him all over the gearbox again. Big block by O'Keefe. That's going to force Cotal down to the inside, and he's going to have to get on the brakes a lot more than he needs to, and he's going to give up some ground to O'Keefe once again. That move down that small straightaway has helped O'Keefe the past 2 laps maintain the 9th position. And I think Kotal may be faster here. It appears that he is a little bit quicker through certain sections of the track, just not able to put the car where it needs to be to complete the pass for position. So as this battle rages on, we're going to take a look around the track. Looks like all the gaps are pretty much stabilizing. Jason Siemens is now beginning to close the distance on Florian Needle in the 13 machine. That will be for the 5th position. Just off in the distance, you've seen the 17 of Gregorio Caridi. First time being out on track here with the Formula I drivers and running very wide that time was the 15 of O'Keefe. Interesting to see if the racing stewards thought he needed to give up any of that time. Doesn't appear that they thought it helped him in any way. Kotal now being able to set it up and make the pass on this straightaway to be able to defend that inside line. Take the racing groove away from Danny O'Keefe in the 15. It's not going to have enough. Great battle between these two Formula I drivers, putting on one heck of a show for us here this afternoon. Still got my eye on that 5 of Jason Siemens. He's now within a half a second of Florian Needle for 5th position. We're trying to hang out here and see if Kotal is able to open up a lead and kind of walk away from the 15 of O'Keefe before we jump up to the battle between Siemens and Needle. Looks like that gap is beginning to open up rather steadily now. A half a second lead for Carlos Kotal over the 15 of Danny O'Keefe. So we will jump up to our closest battle on track. Not close any longer, as Siemens has been able to catch and pass Florian Needle, falling back to the 6th position. Remember, Siemens had an earlier spin, dropping a lot of time. He finds himself almost outside of the pit delta to do anything with possibility of undercut or anything of that nature. He's about 19 and a half seconds back from your race leader. Thomas Ziegler has led the past 9 laps. Says 9 laps to go, but it's a timed race. They're kind of just figuring that, you know, it took about 14 and a half seconds to do 12 laps or so. So you probably only got about 9 or 10 left that you're going to be able to complete. So will any of these drivers think about pitting for tires, or are they going to try to stay out and run this thing to the end on one set? Would like to do a little bit of a cleanup as far as standings are concerned. All 15 drivers that took the grid are still out on the racetrack. 3 drivers finding themselves 1 lap down. Some early trouble for Carl Flemister, Mark Bruning, and Lyndall McMurphy. Those 3 drivers had a lap 1 incident, fell back behind the 8 ball very, very early here today at Silverstone, and just haven't been able to climb back out. 12 cars still on the same lap, still on the lead lap here at Silverstone, and Ziegler is just continuing to step away with his lead, looking through don't seem to have a very close battle. So we're going to go up here and we're going to work through the field here for just a moment. Try to give everybody a little bit of shine and love out there tonight, because they all do one heck of a drive each time they hit the track. There you see your race leader, the 10 of Thomas Ziegler. Second position on track, the 27 of Patrick Charlton. Just behind Patrick, his teammate Cody Sandwith. These three drivers were your three podium finishes last week. Looks like it may be shaping up to end that way again, although if I'm not mistaken, these Radar Racing teammates may be swapping those positions as they stand now. Yes, last week Cody finishing in second. Today looking like he's going to walk away with a third. Fourth position on track, the 91 of Danny Hoekstra. Out there doing a heck of a job for Team Blue Flags Racing. I believe Hoekstra is on Blue Flags. Hope I don't get yelled at for being wrong. And yes, he is. I was correct. Siemens now trying to... Your fifth place runner, Jason Siemens, now trying to get up there and battle with Hoekstra for that fourth position. Once again, if you remember, a handful of laps ago, those two drivers were mixing it up for position. Siemens had gotten by Hoekstra, and then into the next few corners, just lost the rear end. Car spun around on him. Got to point it back in the right direction, and he has been able to run down the 91 of Danny Hoekstra. Back in sixth, the 13 of Florian Needle. Started in 12th, running in the sixth position here. So great drive for him out there as well today. Seventh position, Patrick Woodstrup in the 16 machine. Eighth position, Will Zoller out on track here, I believe, for the first time in Formula I. Will, also a member of a great IndyCar league. Go check those guys out. Sunday Hangover IndyCar League on iRacing directories. And if you don't want to go around an oval in these open wheel cars, come check these guys out over here at Formula I. I promise you, if you're a road course racer, you will not be disappointed at the level of talent, respect, and gratitude from all of the drivers involved here at Formula I. In the one machine, Carlos Cotal has had a pretty quiet race, just kind of plugging away at it all day long, as we are under 10 minutes left to go here in this 45-minute timed race at Silverstone. The 15 of Danny O'Keefe has his hands full now. I believe that's Gregorio. If I'm not mistaken, we'll check. No, it's not. Wonder who that is. That may be Carl Flemingster. Or Richard Swavely, possibly. No, Swavely running into 12th position. So who was it up there heating up Danny O'Keefe? There you see it. Running in the 13th position, car number 12, Carl Flemister. Looks like we have finally had a car pack it up and head to the house. The 63 of Lyndall McMurphy has wheeled his machine back into the paddock. They are tearing it down, and he is out of here. Has already left the track, and gonna move on to next week's race. And man, I cannot wait for next week and the week after. Suzuka, such a great track, getting ready to come up on the Italian Grand Prix as well at Monza. So a lot of great tracks coming up for these Formula I drivers. I'm sure they're going to continue to showcase their talent week in and week out. No really close battles here for position on track. But we're going to go ahead and let's... Who do we want to ride around with? I'll tell you what. He's had a good drive. Has found himself about 17 seconds from being able to catch up with Cody Sandwith, and that is Jason Siemens. He's had a heck of a drive to come back from the spin that he had to now running back in the 4th position, just outside of finishing on that podium. Siemens may be a little dejection after today's race. He was a man on the move right there with Hoekstra and Sandwith. And due to a spin, he found himself back behind Hoekstra as well as Florian Needle. Has had to drive his way back around those two drivers. Looks like Florian has made a pass on Hoekstra as well. So Hoekstra now falling back to the 6th position as we have 5.5 minutes left remaining here in today's race at Silverstone. We're going to jump back up here with your race leader. Give you a little bit of a perspective of what it is that he goes through on a lap. Still driving it in almost the same distance into that corner is Thomas Ziegler. So even 20 laps into this run, his entry and braking points haven't changed very much. See if he's able to run this corner flat out still this late in the race. No, a little bit of lifting and on that throttle for your race leader. Not very much, but just enough to keep that thing heading in the right direction. Looks like we're starting to have a battle develop between Patrick Woodstrup and Danny Hoekstra. So we'll come back here and watch this unfold as we're working 3 minutes left in this 45-minute race here at Silverstone for the Formula I drivers here on iRacing.com, the world's #1 racing simulator. I want to give a shout out to a few sponsors out there for us here at NextGenRacingProductions. WickedStreams, go check those guys out on Facebook. They got a great service going there. I mean, I don't have to tell you much about it. If you see it, you will understand it. Also, shout out to RicmoTech Sim Racing Equipment. They got everything you need from load cells to steering wheels. You want formula style wheels? They got them. NASCAR wheels? They got them. Rigs? Anything you need, they got. Go check them out. RicmoTech.com. Now working just over a minute and a half left here in this race. Thomas Ziegler still being scored as your race leader. Patrick Charlton in the second position. Rounding out your podium for tonight's race at this moment, the 7 of Cody Sandwith. Also a big shout out to Mark Bruning and the Blonde Bullet Motorsports comic book, available on Amazon.com. Go check it out. Support a great thing from a fellow racer, a fellow league member. Mark has done an excellent job getting that whole thing put together and producing it. So hats off to you, Mark, and all the work that you have put into some of the great promos and great comic book. Once again, available on Amazon.com. Down to just your last 35 seconds or so here in today's race. And Thomas Ziegler looks to place himself on the top of the podium once again. Cody Sandwith walking away with the fastest lap of the race for the second race in a row. But looks like Ziegler is going to take the race win when he crosses the line this time by. So as long as he has an uneventful lap here, he will see himself at the top of the podium for the second time in as many races. Just looking back to the battle that we had going on between Patrick Woodstrup and Danny Hoekstra. Hoekstra keeping the position away. He's still sitting in the 6th position. Here you see checkered flag is in the air. Last turn. Last time by the line. Your race winner, Thomas Ziegler. Heck of a job by those guys out there tonight. We're going to let this finish out. Let these drivers all get where they need to be. And we'll be right back with you here on Next Gen Racing Productions. Thanks for staying with us here at Next Gen Racing Productions. We're back for all your post-race activities. There you see on screen, second time in a row, in Thomas Zier walking away with another race win, finds himself on the top step of the podium. Unfortunately, Thomas has had to step away before we could get him available for post-race interviews. So we will try to catch up with him next week at Suzuka so he can give any of his fans, viewers, and teammates some love out there on the radio and the broadcast. So with that, we're going to jump to our second place finisher on the pole for the second time. Not on the pole, on the podium for the second time in 2 races. And that is Patrick. Patrick, you got us?
I do indeed.
How you doing, bud?
Yeah, really good. Bit sad I couldn't keep up there with Thomas. It's the 8-year anniversary since my last semi-professional real race car win. So it would have been a nice bookend to win that one. But Thomas was pretty seriously fast today.
Yeah, well, got to be happy with yourself being able to come away with another podium finish. Last week you finished in 3rd, this time able to improve it and one position and get a 2nd place finish out of it.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be 3rd again because Cody was ballistically fast. I was wondering what was going to happen when Thomas caught Cody, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I can win this one. But Cody ran a little bit wide. I got a little bit of a gap, and it was just super consistent through there. But it was very nearly 3rd.
Oh, great race out there. Was there any, I don't know if you'll divulge the information, was there any team orders to maybe make the battle for the Drivers' Championship come down between you two teammates in swapping the podium position finishes?
No, we weren't thinking about that. I mean, if the general rule is if Cody got up behind me to say within half a second, then I would have let him through. But no team orders yet.
All right, well, Patrick, once again, great job walking away, 2nd podium finish for the 2 races I've been with you guys. Got to be happy with that. Got to be happy with a great, clean race. Before we let you go and get ready for Suzuka, you want to give any shout-outs to anybody out there watching or that may watch later?
No, just to the boys at SFX100 who helped me design my motion platform, and Cody's been a great teammate, and obviously the Jason and Formula I for letting us race. It's been awesome.
All right, well, congratulations once again, man, and we'll look forward to possibly seeing you on the podium for a 3rd time here.
Fingers crossed.
All right, well, there you have it. That was your 2nd place finisher for today's British Grand Prix. Patrick Charlton was 3rd last race, walked away with a 2nd this race. Now we're going to see if we can't catch up with his Radar Racing teammate, and that is the 7 of Cody Sandwich. Cody, you got us?
Yep, how's it going, David?
I can't complain. If I did, nobody would probably listen, bud.
Yeah.
So, great finish for you, first of all. But just tell us a little bit about your race from your seat, how it went out there for everybody that was watching.
This whole race weekend's been wild. Had to reformat my computer and get all iRacing all set back up and everything, getting everything reconfigured. Plus, with the new tire model, it's been a crazy week of trying to get used to the car. Qualifying went amazing, but once we got into the race, I couldn't find that comfort that it seemed like that Thomas and Patrick had, and they were able to translate that into really consistent speed that, man, I tried to hold them off, but it just wasn't going to happen.
And I asked your teammate, was there any team orders to maybe switch the positions there later towards the middle section of the race to possibly look at maybe making it a Radar Racing Drivers Championship battle, since it appears you guys have a good handle on the constructor points coming into the race. A 2-3 finish once again for your team is going to extend that lead in the Constructors Championship. So is there any eye looking forward to try to make it a Team Drivers Championship battle?
Oh no, I don't think so. We're both really focused on the team. The team got some great points today, and Patrick drove a phenomenal race, as did Thomas. Congratulations to both of them. But honestly, we're just trying to. I was trying to catch him there mid race. I was putting down the fastest laps I could. I think I got the fastest laps I was doing the whole race. Quite near the end, actually, I was really ringing it out, and I was catching him a little bit, but it wasn't going to be enough there at the end. But he drove a fantastic race, very consistent. No external team orders to make that happen. That was all him.
All right. Now, as you said, yeah, it was on lap 16 out of the 22 that you drivers made around this great circus here at Silverstone. So, I mean, it was late in the race. You got the pole position, fastest lap. You just couldn't set it up on top of the podium. What would you rather have? Would you rather have everything but the win or nothing but the win?
I think I got to take win on that one. One lap speed is great and all, but if you can't do it consistently, it doesn't count for a lot.
I can respect that. I think I just want the win too myself.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, Cody, man, once again, great job, great finish. Walking away third here tonight. A little bit lower than what you were last week on the podium, but nonetheless still a great finish. Before we let you get ready and packed up to head out to Suzuka, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous to anybody watching or that will watch?
Just thank you to my team, to any of the fans that are watching this video now or end up watching it later, and we'll see you guys in Suzuka.
All right, man. Well, great race, and we'll speak to you later.
Yep, have a good one.
All right, that was your third place finisher for this afternoon's race, Cody Sandwith. So Cody having a great points day for not only himself but the team. His teammate Patrick Charlton coming away with a great race for himself and the team as well. Not a lot left to do here from Silverstone except run through today's finishing order, and we will bring that to you right now. The 10 of Thomas Eager walking away with the first position in second. The 27 of Patrick Charlton, third place. The 7 of Cody Sandwith, while Jason Siemens finds himself in fourth. Rounding out the top 5 for today's British Grand Prix, the 13 of Florian Needle. Sixth place, the 91 of Danny Hoekstra. Seventh, the 16 of Patrick Woodstrup. Coming in eighth, the 3 of Will Zoller. Carlos Catal finds himself inside the top 10 in ninth position. Rounding out your top 10, the 15 of Danny O'Keefe. 11th position, the 17 of Gregorio Caridi, while Carl Flemister finds himself in the 12th position. The 61 of Mark Bruning, finding himself in some early trouble today, walks away with 13th. 14th position, the 38 of Richard Swavely. Trouble as well, 5 laps down in 14th. Rounding out the field here this afternoon at Silverstone, 8 laps down was the 63 of Lyndall McMurphy. Now that our results have been laid out, not too much of anything left here. Once again, these drivers putting on a heck of a race. Great battles throughout the race. Great battle at the front for a good majority of the beginning of the race. So none of these drivers giving up on themselves or their teammates late in the race. Still passes were trying to be made. And man, once again, I am tired. My mouth hurts. Great race. Talking all the time. Awesome finish. Awesome race, guys. Thank you to everybody out there watching, listening, liking, and subscribing. If you haven't already, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Maybe click the subscribe, smash the bell over there. Let these Formula I drivers know that you like and appreciate their work out on track. And, yeah, we're going to get ready to go to Suzuka. We'll see you in 2 weeks here for Formula I on Next Gen Racing Productions.